Hi everyone, it's Shannon and welcome to today's video. So if you haven't seen me in a while, it's not because I was on vacation and it's not because I had planned on taking a break. It's because I simply got the flu. I got the flu, didn't get my flu shot and meant to, and I haven't had the flu in 8 years. But yeah, I got it. So I have been under the weather, but very excited because I actually received this last week, but was completely incapacitated and I haven't even had a chance to use it, but I saw that she started teasing it, so I'm very excited. I'm decided to film and I will post this as soon as it is released from the brand. But I have the new minis from Natasha Denona. So this is the My Mini Dream palette and this is the My Mini Dream Glow Blush. So I did receive these from the brand last week. However, there was no information. So there's no information. I just received them in a box and no insert, no information, no moratorium. So I technically probably could have posted about them, but I'm always respectful for the brand. And if they haven't posted, I don't post anything. So, but they started teasing and I'm going to just try them out for the first time. I'm still a little sick, but I'm very excited about these. Now, I will be honest, I don't purchase the minis anymore because I found that I wasn't using them. They're great for travel. That was the kind of the thing, like they're great for travel. However, I just always, when I was traveling, I was always gravitating towards the midis because the midis give you a lot of different options. So I really was never bringing the minis, and I did a ranking video with my minis and my 5 pans. And then after that video, shortly after, I realized I wasn't using them and I ended up decluttering all of them. So I don't own any minis anymore, and I personally haven't purchased any minis. So would I have purchased this? I can tell you right now, I would not have purchased this if I didn't receive it. And the main reason being is I just don't purchase these anymore. However, I am very excited to have received it, very excited to have received the blush, and I'll get into why in a second. Okay, so here is the palette still in the box. And I will tell you, as soon as I opened it, I thought it had broken because of the little splotches for the design, which is very much in tune with the original MIDI, that I thought it had broken. But then I quickly realized that was just the design. And what you can see is the design goes, the box that has this cutout, but it goes, the blotches they coincide with what is on the actual palette. So a lot of thought put into that. I thought it was really great. And here you can see the actual palette. So I will be honest, this is very basic, very, very basic. We'll get into the shades in a second, but I think it's beautiful. It is, I think like a cool tone or more neutral. It's definitely not warm. Definitely neutral, everyday palette. You've got 3 mattes, you've got 2 metallics, but very, very basic. Now we're going to compare it to the MIDI and the original one, which has more color. I love this palette. Now this one I think is a bit more warm. So here is the comparison. So you can see on top we have the mini, and on the bottom we have the MIDI. And the MIDI is definitely, I think, a little bit more warm. You've got some more purples. So this one I think has a little bit more cool tone or more neutral. It's definitely not warm in my opinion. Now this is the only repeat shade. This is Nuture. This is shade 451 and it is a cream to matte. And it is also in the original. So it is the one right here. And I believe it is described as like a cool nude. But the other 4, I have their names, I have their numbers, but I don't have any information as far as how they're described because nothing's been released yet. I'm keep checking to see if they've posted anything on their Instagram. They haven't yet. Once they do, I will post it in the description box below. So really quick, this is Devotion 529M. It's a metallic. Balance, it's 530CM, which is a cream to matte. Passionate 531M, a metallic. Loyalty 532 cm, which is a cream to matte, and then of course Nuture 451 cm. So this is the palette. Let's go ahead and do the swatches. Okay, so we're going to start with the first shade, which is Devotion, a metallic, Balance, a matte, Passionate, a metallic, Loyalty, a matte, and Nurture, which is the only repeat shade. And I am going to go ahead and swatch the Nurture from my original palette. And as you can see, this one kind of swatched better, but the shades look the same. So as you can see, it is a very basic palette. I actually love it. I think it's beautiful. I think it's great for every day. I think it's a beautiful palette. I think it's a great complementary palette to the original, but it's something very, very basic. Okay, so I did wipe off the two Nurtures. I am going to compare the darkest shade Loyalty to Aspiration from the original palette. So you can see here. So they're very similar. You're not gonna see a big difference on the eye. So even though they aren't repeat shades, it's a very, very similar shade. Now, as far as the other three shades are concerned, there really are no comparisons in the original MIDI palette. So you have these three shades here. So there's no shade like this light one here, which is Balance. You can kind of see that was kind of what was missing in this palette. Now, a lot of people, I don't think, like that type of light shade. And that's not a shade I really use. It's something that I use kind of to blend and maybe soften the edges. But for a lot of people, that might be too light, or it might be perfect. But for me, it's one of those shades that I will use to kind of soften the edges, but I don't necessarily use. I will use it today. This is pretty much what I'm going to use as my transition. And then the other two metallics, there really isn't anything that is similar. So this is Spontaneous. I think that's maybe the closest, but it's definitely more golden. And we'll go to Thrill. This is Thrill. So Thrill is also, again, more golden. Babies, so that's Babies. And Invention and Serenity are very different. And then Vision, I think, is the special shade in my dream. It's my favorite shade. Definitely nothing like that in this little mini palette. So as far as the other three shades, I think they're very different. And I probably would say it's definitely a complementary palette to the MIDI, but I don't think it's necessarily, I love the My Dream MIDI palette. It's one of my favorites. And this is definitely, you know, I mean, it's only 5 shades, so you're not gonna get the versatility, but I think it's a really good complementary palette. And I feel like maybe it's like the 5 missing shades or the 3 missing shades in the original palette, you know, definitely complement the original palette. Okay, so let's talk about the blush. So here is the box for the blush. It is the My Mini Dream Glow Blush. And I did not get the blush like trio from the original My Dream collection because it had only one blush, and then it had like two highlighters, like a cream and then a powder highlighter, and I don't use highlighter enough. So this I really like. I will say it's teeny tiny. It is teeny tiny. And to kind of compare, so here is the original My Dream, and then this is the palette. So it is teeny tiny. And then it's got 3 shades. So you've got 3 teeny tiny shades. So here you have it. So this is the highlighter. This is described as Icy Rosy. This is the blush Nude Pink, and then this is the blush Vintage Rose. So it's got 2 blushes and a highlight. I like this so much better. However, it is so tiny. So I had to get, when I was looking for brushes to use, this is the Sigma Soft Blend 60 to try and get, you can kind of see, it's hard. Here is the Refer number 4. It's going to be hard to kind of get each of these blushes. So it's basically on the back, which I had to get a magnifying glass to read. Yeah, in the back, it's basically says you can wear it one of 2 ways. You can wear the blush you know, get the blush and then use it as a highlighter traditional way, or you can combine them all together. So I am going to attempt to put one shade on each cheek. However, this is tiny. I cannot stress that enough. I mean, this is my Apple Watch. It's like the size of my Apple Watch. Like that's the size of the blush. So it's really tiny. However, I'm hoping it's going to be affordable. I also think it's adorable because it's pretty much like a great little like mini size of this one. So I think it's really cute, great for travel. You just need a brush that's going to be able to use it. So let's do the swatches. And before I swatch, I just want to show you, you can kind of see also, because it's the design, the blushes aren't like, there's splatter of the highlight in this and there's splatter of this. So that's the design, but you're going to mix the shades. So that's just the design. It's how it's going to be, and you're going to get the shades. But I wanted to point that out before I start doing the swatches. Okay, so here are the swatches. This is the highlighter Icy Pink. This is the blush Nude Pink. And this is the blush Vintage Rose. Definitely this one's a lighter, definitely a nude, really pretty. I think they're really gorgeous. I think the challenge with this is just going to be how to get it if you want a specific shade. Now I think beautiful, you know, it's going to be beautiful all three, you know, mixed together to kind of give you that glowy blush. But if you do want to separate them, I think that's going to be the challenge. Okay, so I put my hair back and we're going to go ahead and do the eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to try and use all 5 shades. Not necessarily something I would normally do, but I'm going to try and do it. So I'm going to go in first with my Rephr 27, and I'm going to use the shade Balance, which is a matte, and it's the lightest matte. And I am just going to kind of go on the top, just so kind of help as a transition on each side, and then I'm going to go back and use the same brush and go in with the transition shade. And you can see it's pretty much, you can't even see it because it's the same shade as my skin. So I think some people might like that, some people might not. For me, it's okay in this type of size palette, and especially for this color story, I think it's fine. But I probably would have liked another shimmer in a very, very light, like bright shimmer. So I don't know, that's just me. But I'm gonna go in now with the shade Nuture, and I'm going to use that same brush, and I'm going to use that as the transition. Okay, so there is Nuture. Now this is the shade, this is the one repeat shade that's in the original palette. So that is as the transition. So pretty much what I expected, really pretty. And now I'm gonna go in with my Sonia G Crease Pro and go in with the darkest shade Loyalty. This is a new shade, but it's very similar to one of the other shades in the original palette. And I'm just gonna go in on the outer corner and then kind of bring it into the crease to deepen it a little bit. Okay, so there it is on the outer corner and the crease. Again, I'm not a professional makeup artist. If you're watching this for the first time, because I'm probably one of the first to get this up, I hope. I'm not a professional makeup artist, and I just enjoy doing makeup, and so that's it. So you know, if you want to critique my technique, go ahead, because I will probably do the same. Next, I'm going to go in with the shade Devotion, which is the darker of the 2 shimmers, and I like doing applying my Natasha Denona shimmers with my finger. So I'm going to go in right on the lid with Devotion. Again, really pretty metallic, nothing special, nothing like that one shade in the MIDI palette, but it's still really pretty. It's a really pretty mini palette. Okay, so there is the shimmer Devotion on my eyes, and now I'm going to go in with the shimmer, or the metallic Passionate, and I'm just going to go in on the inner corner and put it on both sides. And then I'm going to take a little brush. I'm going to take my Rephr 14 Mini, and these are one of the newer brushes that they have. It's same as the 14, but it's just smaller, and I'm going to put that on the brow bone. So I'm going to do that on both sides, and And that is it. So I was able to use all 5 shades. I'm going to go touch this up, put some mascara, and come back and let's do the blush. Okay, so I put some mascara on. I did go on the lower lash line. So for the lower lash line, I went in all the way with the shade Nuture, the middle matte shade. Then I went on just the outside with Loyalty, which is the dark shade, and that's it. And then I just put, I kind of put a little bit more of the Passionate, the lightest metallic on the inner corner. So really pretty. Now I will say, as I was kind of at my desk and looking at it, I pulled out my Glam palette. So if you look at the Glam, I kind of feel like it's more of a, if not a mini glam, it's definitely like a hybrid of the mini glam and the mini, you know, of the My Dream 2. So, you know, here are these two. Now these two go really great together. They're really great complementary palettes. But then this one is kind of, I can't hold up all 3, but you kind of see here and then the My Dream. So I think it's kind of a combination of the two. So if you like My Dream and you like glam, then you're definitely gonna like this. It's very basic. It's very basic. However, would I have purchased this? I did find out it's going to be $27. Would I have purchased this on my own? Probably not, just because I don't purchase the minis anymore, because I have all the midis, and I just have made a conscious decision not to purchase the minis as much as I usually want to. I just never reach for them. I always reach for the midis. However, there's a lot of people that only purchase the minis. I think it's good. I think it's great quality, but it's very basic. It's, you know, a taupey, you know, cool tone, neutral look. You're going to get very similar looks. However, this is probably one I'm going to use a lot because quality's there, very easy, you know, it's great. So now let's get into the blush. Okay, so we're going to try and do the blush. I'm going to try and put one of the shades on each side, which is going to be pretty challenging given the size that this is, but we're gonna try. So I'm gonna go in with the shade Nude Pink, which is that middle one, and I'm just going to take, this is a rougher number 4, and I'm going to kind of go in ever so slightly and put it on the cheek. So there you go. I think I did pretty good as far as only catching that shade, and it applies really well, looks really nice on the cheek. So I'm going to put a little bit more. Okay, and this is the Nude Pink shade of the Glow Blush. Okay, so I've cleaned the brush, and now I'm going to go in with the same brush and go in with the Vintage Rose shade, again, ever so slightly. So that's going to be the challenging part, is if you want to try and get just one shade, that's going to be challenging. So this one is definitely a little deeper. So I'm going to go in, and it's a really pretty blush. You know, it's a Vintage Rose, really pretty. Groundbreaking, no, but the size is great for travel. Okay, so this is the Nude Pink. This is the Vintage Rose. Now I'm going to go in with a highlighter brush. This is from Sigma, the Samantha Ravendell collection. And I'm going, now this is obviously easier with the highlight, and I'm gonna go in, and the highlight is considered or called an icy pink. And I'm just gonna place it like slow, really pretty. I don't think I've had Natasha Denona highlighters, but I don't think I have any currently. So really pretty highlight. I like the size just because I'm not a big highlight person, so the size is perfect, and I like that there's 2 blush shades and only 1 highlight. So that is the highlight from the Glow Blush. Now to try and even out the blushes, just so I don't have 2 different blushes, I'm just going to go in on both and kind of see how it says like the option 2 and apply it on both sides, and just to kind of see, you know, what you get. Yeah, you get like a nice, it's a, you know, it's a glowy blush, so you can definitely combine all 3. So I think if you have the right brush and you have the right, you know, you're just very careful, you can definitely separate the shades if you wanted to. or you can combine all three, which is what I'm doing to kind of get a nice glow blush, which is the name of the product. So there you have it. That is kind of evened out. I don't know how even it is. I'll look when I see on camera, but that's when you use all three. So let me just show you real quick. I'll just kind of plop it right here, and then we'll see if I can get it here. You can kind of see. So yeah, so that's what it would look like. You know, that's kind of without, because obviously I did it a little separate, but it's a really pretty shade. It's got a nice little, with mixing it, it's got a nice glow, but it's not like a highlighter, you know, too much. So I think it's really pretty. So I think it's very versatile. You know, groundbreaking, no, but definitely travel friendly. Okay, so I do have some information now. This is going to be $27, which is consistent with her minis. And then the blush, the glow blush, is going to be $20. So, which is consistent with the other, you know, she has like a blush, you know, highlighter duo. Those were like 19 and I think they're now 20. So that's consistent with what I thought it was going to be. It's going to be on sale on Natasha Denona and Sephora on Christmas Eve, December 24th. However, for Rouge members on Sephora, it will be available on December 23rd. And then, so it will be, Sephora will be online on December 23rd for Rouge, December 24th for everyone, and then also on Natasha Denona, December 24th. Also with on Natasha Denona, you can save 15% with my code just Shannon. So Shannon will save you 15%. There is an affiliate link in the description box below. In store, the eyeshadow palette will be available on January 5th. However, the glow blush is not going to be available in store until March 4th. So you're pretty much going to have to order it online in Sephora if you want to buy it, if you want to see it, you know, if you want to buy it, because otherwise it's not going to be in store till March. In Ulta, it will be available online on December 26th, both, and then in store March 3rd. So if you want to use your Ulta points, or you want to, you know, you're loyal to more to Ulta, it's not going to be available in store until March 3rd, but online December 26th. Then Sephora at Kohl's online December 24th. In store, the eyeshadow palette will be available January 5th. Beautylish will be available December 26th. And then there's a bunch of, so all of this is on the Natasha Denona stories, all the dates. UK, it's going to be online in Sephora, Selfridges, and Flannels, January 5th online, and in store March 15th. And then there's a bunch of other ones. So all of that is in her stories. You can find that. Now, what do I think about it? I think it's good. It's a mini, it's a travel. Is it groundbreaking? No, but I love the look I came out with. I think it looks beautiful. I could see myself getting a lot of use out of this. This is like just a solid, you're gonna get a great look. If you just don't wanna think about it and do it, it's gonna be great. I also think the blush is great too. And for $20, I think it's beautiful. You know, you can save 15%, which is going to be, you know, $17 if you purchase it with my promo code. You know, I think it's a really pretty blush. Again, is it groundbreaking? No, but I like that you could use it as a matte. You could use it as a glowy blush. You could kind of get some versatility. Probably going to get some more versatility with this than you will with this, but this is solid. I think this is kind of like a cross between the Glam and the My Dream. Nothing wrong with that. But I think it's probably more glam than the mini glam. But I think it's a very solid, you know, taupey, beautiful, you know, mini palette for $27. So if you like the minis, you like these for travel, I think it's fantastic. If you're like me and you prefer the midi size, then you don't need it. I'm going to be honest, you don't need it. But you know, it just depends on what your shopping preferences is. But I think it's solid, it's good. You're not going to, I don't think you're going to regret purchasing it. So anyway, with that, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. And if you are new here and this is the first time watching, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I am a small channel. I've only been around for about a year and a little over a year. And I am just a little bit about me. I am in my late 40s. I'm a full-time working mom who just likes makeup and playing around with it. And this channel kind of gives me that outlet. So with that, I will say bye everyone.